Okay, so that was a bit chaotic, but have you ever wondered how will my white shirt look like if I dyed it with green tea? Well, in today's video, we will investigate what shades of green we can create, well, with the green tea. Okay, so today we'll be dyeing this faded yellowing koala shirt I got from the bins. I already gently washed it and didn't want to risk damaging the print on it. And if you want to try this experiment, I mean, you can. You just have to choose any white or light colored fabric, whether it's vintage or new. And just a reminder, you guys, y'all know every fabric is different. So look at the material when you start doing this because it may actually affect the results. But I do think you'll be good with any material as long as it's white. Okay, let's think about how this will work. So first we need the green tea bags. Obviously, I got these yesterday, so a day before I filmed this video, and these are from my local Dollar Tree. It's a bunch of them. It has so many of them for $1.25. Not $1 because Dollar Tree is greedy like that, but you can feel free to use any brand you want. But I'm just gonna boil the heck out of these new tea bags I got from the dollar store. It is cheap tea. And don't zone out on me, okay? Don't zone out. It's gonna get good. Don't. We're gonna do some water right now in the pot. Water is going to be your best friend when you're naturally dying, okay? And I'm also going to be using a large pot in this process, so go ahead and find one that's big enough to house your shirt, and ideally the size of the pot should be filled almost more than half of it. And I'm going to be using my stinky chemical infused sink water versus any other type of water like distilled water or spring water. That usually does have a little bit less chemicals or no harsh chemicals whatsoever, but I'm just simply using sink water because I'm poor and not bougie with it. But I am aware that chemicals are going to affect the dye, but I have free will and I do what I want, and poverty means using what you have, so I'm gonna roll with it. I don't really care. And another thing that you'll need is a stove, whether that's a fire stove or an electric stove. I personally have a fire stove. This is my crusty stove right here. It's been through multiple world wars, I think 3 world wars, including the one that's coming. But even if it's old, even if it's dirty, it is very, very hot. So don't ask me about the model, just trust the fire. That was a very corny dad joke. Okay, so I'm going to probably boil the tea for about 30 minutes. And you may be asking, why 30 minutes? Well, I don't really know, and I don't really want to be in the kitchen. That's honestly the truth. I don't want to be in the kitchen the whole time, and sometimes you just have to go by vibes, not by strategy. And just to be proper, I do want to note that you can use other tools like tongs, bowls, drying racks. You can use so many different things, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not a perfect dyer or influencer or like professional person in this. I simply use what I have and what works for me. And the point is to just have some fun, you know? Like, let's not just be focused on the perfection. And I want to note that I am using my old kitchen, and I know for sure if I can try doing this, you can too. So feel free to try. And then when we're prepping the fabric, this is really where the magic happens. I literally really want to warn you to turn off your stove when the tea is over. Like, once the 30 minutes of boiling is over, turn off the stove and put your shirt in the pot. And then I'm just gonna plop that there. Show is on the road. So the tea is now essentially seeping into my shirt, baby. So note that the shirt is completely submerged. Now we stir. I have a theory that the shirt will actually come out greener if I let the tea linger for a lot longer than, 30 minutes or an hour, however long that you want to put it in there. But I'm not quite sure. I think I'll actually make that series of naturally dyeing white vintage garments like avocado, coffee, and spinach. I don't know, man. Let me know what you want me to try. I'm open for options and ideas and to experiment. But I assure you, I do not know what I'm doing. And honestly, I feel like no one really knows when it comes to natural dyes. There's honestly so many elements that come into play with dyeing clothing, but we can try our best to control the process. And it's almost like life, man. Some things you can control, but the result is very well a mystery. So all we can do is make sure we are stirring. So let's keep stirring the fabric for complete saturation and also for all the sides to get dyed. And I really do warn that you shouldn't leave the fabric alone, especially if you still have the fire on, if it's soaking. That's why I prefer to turn it off and just like come back to it every 5 or 6 minutes, whatever feels right for you. I'm a bit lazy, so I only want to get up 4 times or 5 times, honestly. But just make sure you keep stirring it, flipping it so that all the sides get saturated. And just make sure the pot to shirt ratio is big enough so that the fabric can be fully submerged into the tea water. And now you can see that the green shades of the tea is completely, imprinting into the shirt. I do think a fun experiment that you can try is dipping a fabric swatch at different times to compare color intensity if you want to see the difference between fabric materials. But for now, I'm just going to leave this shirt to soak. I'm just going to leave it here for about an hour. I don't want to do this all day, and I'm probably going to forget about it if it's more than an hour. So I'm just going to leave it in the kitchen in this pot. Okay guys, it's been an hour. It's 5:30. I've literally been at this for like a while, and it's actually a brown color. I thought green tea was gonna create a green dye, but it's actually a brown dye from green tea. Look. Like, what the heck? It's very pretty, but I was not expecting this. See? Also, note that the lighting in your kitchen can affect the perception of the color. So if you look at the color of the shirt in harsh lighting, it probably will be different versus the warm yellow lighting that's usually in kitchens. Okay, so now we're at the after dye care. So after it's done soaking, you can either do the following: hand wash it with a light soap, hand wash it or just rinse with water, machine wash it in your washing machine, or don't wash it at all. I recommend hand washing so the color isn't stripped away from a heavy wash and that it can be ready to wear once it's dry. I think that machine washing can strip the natural dye out faster because of the intensity of the water and the turbulence and the detergent, but not washing it could maybe further saturate the shirt with the tea for a longer time. But that's just a theory, because it's like when you have a soda stain in my eyes, like it's just nearly impossible to get it out after it's been soaked and saturated for such a long time. And maybe if we keep the shirt dry without rinsing it, then maybe softly drying it in a dryer will further embed that tea color. So those are just my predictions. You can definitely try and let me know in the comments what worked best. But in terms of drying methods, if you want to hang dry it, I think that's the best option if your shirt or whatever you're dyeing is more delicate and you just desire a gentler way for it to dry. But as I said, you can always do the machine dry method for more speed and possibly for more intensity of the saturation of the tea within your shirt. Okay, so here is the final form of the shirt after dyeing it with green tea. It is definitely not green. It is not green. It is this vintage yellow / brown. I made a mistake, but we're gonna work with it. So this is it. It does have a lot of pit stains for some reason. I think the chemicals with the tea reacted on itself, so that's a big pit stain that's now on there. More big pit stains on the shirt. Then there's like more stains in the bottom. I think the shirt lumped up on itself, so it got more stains here. I got more stains here from the green tea. So it just looks like it's more dirty than beforehand. And then in the back though, I got a pretty even dye, so there's no lumps or anything. It's just the deodorant pit stains are still there. But overall, I like the color of it. It's a vintage yellow. It makes it look older than it was before I dyed it. But yeah, this is what it looks like wet. It looks weird, it looks used, it looks brown. Not what I was expecting whatsoever, but this is my first time dyeing with green tea. But maybe the color will fade a bit once it dries. I don't think it'll look like this once it's, you know, dry. So I'm optimistic that it's not as bad as it looks when it's wet. Dang. So now I'm gonna rinse this with water and let it dry, and then I'll see you tomorrow for the final form. Oh my god, guys, this is the final result. The result is here. Oh my gosh, it is brown. Not brown, like yellow. Do you see? Like, it's still this brownish color. The armpits are still there. Yeah, it's really, really bad. It's bad. And then look, oh here, oh my gosh. It looks like I was sweating and it just contaminated everything. And then here's the back. But yeah, I don't really like it except for like a house shirt, you know, like something the public doesn't see from you. But yeah, that was the result of my first time dyeing with tea. It was fun, it was chaotic, it was an experiment, it was practice, and that's what matters when you're upcycling and just embracing your journey in sustainable fashion. So let me know if you're going to try upcycling your clothes with tea. If you already have tried, what were your mistakes? Where did you have fun? And also let me know what you want to see on this ethical fashion and sustainable style channel. I love style, I love fashion, I love helping, and I love upcycling. So I want to have fun while you're learning. So comment down below, and until next time, peace and love. Elle, bye.